Jorge Estrada here. Today I want to talk about something different than guns and gun reform and gun rights. I want to talk about immigration. And it's kind of not funny but interesting because I wrote an idea about 2 years ago, and then yesterday I listened to the secretary speaking in front of Congress or the committee, and I was kind of surprised because there's something new I didn't think about. And so I'm not running for any office. I don't want your votes, I don't want your money, but if I could have about 5 minutes, hopefully 5 minutes of your attention, that would be great, because I think it is an important subject we need to talk about. It's affecting all Americans and we shouldn't just put it on the back burner and say, oh well, you know, it's gonna take care of its own at some point, because it won't. So, little background, I came here legally in about 2011 and started the process in 2010. Came here in 2011 on a green card. There is not one thing I can say it's negative. It started with the embassy in my birth country. It got my visa with the process. From the issue of the visa, I had 6 months to visit the United States, so it became active. If I wouldn't have done that, then I guess you could have asked for an extension. I don't know. Not saying I'm an expert, but that's just my personal experience. So I came here within 6 months. It started the process, and then when we finally relocated here, I had to check in with USCIS, and after the appointment with biometrics and personal information, it took about 2 weeks. I had my green card in the mailbox. Not one negative thing for me about the process or the people I worked with, and just want to put it out there. They did a good job, in my opinion, and much to my, and yes, back then it was President Obama, but what I didn't know is that back then the director of USCIS was Secretary Mayorkas. So that shows me that guy knows the rules, know what's wanted for lawful immigration. And so I was really surprised to hear yesterday, like, first of all, it's all the previous administration's fault, and basically there's nothing they can do, but you know, they hand out cell phones, and if the numbers are correct, and we have about 200,000 illegal immigrants a day, I mean, how is it sustainable? You know, unless I misunderstood something. But that made me finally make this video, despite my idea being about 2 years old. And I hope if you pay a little bit, if you give me your attention and you maybe get something out of it and say, hey, you know, might be a good idea, maybe it's trash, I don't know. I have sent this to several politicians on different levels, and I did not get one response. And that is frustrating, because I think it is an important subject, and just ignoring it, it's like, what, you don't care? I mean, at least send an email, hey, I got it, you know, we'll look at it, you know, we'll be back. Or, hey, I looked at it, I don't like it, you know, or it's trash, forget about it, something. I respect it more than no answer at all. So, but here it is. And the basis, I call it the Willson Estrada Immigration Reform 2020. Mr. Willson is Jake Willson, good friend of mine, attorney friend. He looked it over, he said it sounds good to him. If the attorney tells me it sounds good, it sounds good to me too. The basis of this is that we finish the wall on the southern border. And before you now go to the comment section or go on social media, other social media, and say, hey, this Estrada is a racist asshole, just wait, hear me out, and then you can still post it. if you still feel that way, because there's nothing racist about a border that protects your country and its citizens. There's nothing racist about it. But we get maybe to that later, if I feel like it. The basis is, we finished the wall. We have several different ports of entry, which we have current ones. We can establish new ones. Next to those ports of entry, we establish medical facilities, holding facilities, and I'm not talking about kids in cages and all that. No, we can build facilities. And we do have the money, because you ask yourself, how are we going to fund this? We need buildings, we need contractors, we need more personnel, medical personnel, law enforcement. It's pretty easy for me. I know that now I sound like a politician. But if we can send $33 billion to Ukraine, I mean billion. It's not like we just sent 800 million. No, 33 billion they want to send over there. They throw billions around like, you know, like some people's pocket change. Why not 10? And the rest we use for America. It's American money. I think we should use it for our interests. Not saying Ukraine is not, that's a different subject, but why not less and spend some of the other money here? Also, I'm in strong support of a pay cut for all those high-level politicians, about 10%. I think that's fair, because they just give each other raises, and I don't care if you're in the White House, if you sit in Congress, if you're a cabinet member, if you're some sort of secretary of some department. I think you can, for your country, take a 10% pay cut. Also, on top of that, I would say we need a cap on foreign aid. I just made the example with Ukraine. I'm not saying don't help other countries. I'm not saying don't care, because we should, you know. But why do we have to give so much money? There's hundreds of other countries, they can chip in too. Just saying, doesn't always have to be us. So this is, you know, an idea how those projects, that the Southern Border Project can be funded. Because it's really not, seeing how they throw the money around, it's really not that difficult, you know, to snag something over here, something over there, and finish the wall and build those facilities down there. So we can control who comes in and how many. There is no way we can just let people walk over across the Rio Grande and then they start demanding that. No, stay put, we open the gates, we shut them, we process, and then we repeat it. But that is the main thing. The border has to be finished, otherwise it don't work. And while the people are in those facilities, we can do a background check. We take the biometrics. They can get checked for medical conditions. There is kids, there's old people, and we can do that right there. It helps everybody. I had to get a chest x-ray before I could even come over here. And I still have the CD somewhere. So we have it right down there. You cross the border, you wanna immigrate, or you wanna file for asylum, which also Secretary Mayorkas, he knows the process, because guess who's doing asylums? USCIS. So he knows it. And I really expect a little bit more from him than just, oh well, you know, previous administration, and then the smirk on his face like, ha, in the end that's exactly what we want, but what a different conversation. I'm sorry. So we have those people come in, we check them out, and then they wait. We do an instant background check. I mean, then, you know, other countries have to work with us and say, look, there's no criminal background, or there is, and then we send them back. In this instance, I don't agree with Governor Abbott to put him on a bus and drive him to DC. Yeah, it makes a point. I get the point that he tries to make. But is it helping anyone? Really not. You know, unless you're really a law-abiding citizen, you want to come here, you want to file for asylum, and, you know, you have the chance to go to DC. But then what? Not everybody that comes over here is a criminal or has criminal intentions, but you don't want to come here by breaking the law in the first place. You do it legally. That's all we ask. That's all I'm asking. I've done it, and I guess other people can too. So we have those people there. They sign a promise note that they look for a job, that they do this, do that, abide by the law, and we have the data. We can track them. They get an official piece of paper. If you want to give them cell phones, give them cell phones, but after they go through this process and we have the data, we know at least halfway who they are and where they're going. Okay? And one of the other main things is that I think we should allow law-abiding immigrants that want to come here legally for the better, want to better themselves, they want to help this country, keep it great. Give them a payment plan. I know how expensive that is. And every paperwork you file with USCIS, there's a filing fee attached. And if you don't have that money order on there, they're going to send it back. So yeah, I know it's expensive. And I actually then stepped up in 2016. I became a citizen because I wanted to be I am where I want to be. So I think other people who want to be there at that point should also have the chance. And just because you don't have the money available right now or other personal reasons, give them a payment plan. I don't know if you know or not, but we give convicted felons a payment plan for their court costs, their fines, and if they have restitution, we give them a payment plan for that too. Did you know that? Yeah, they have like 6 months after they release from prison to set up their payments. So we do it for convicted criminals, people that rob, kill, steal, set stuff on fire, whatever. We offer it to them. Why not to law-abiding people from other countries that want to come here legally? If they have the chance to get a payment plan with the United States government, they would not spend their money on coyotes or the cartels, whatever you want to call them, to get smuggled across the border, across the desert, probably, or there's a high probability they get injured or die. And it's not just the drugs that come over here, it's also human trafficking, sex trafficking. This is no joke. If you have the chance to take a human trafficking class, like I could in law enforcement, if you have the chance, take one. You'll be surprised. That's like a little wake-up call. If you see what's going on there, what they do to those people. Again, it's affecting everybody. Not just, oh, I sit in this state, or I sit in that state, it doesn't bother me. No, it affects every American. And we should pay attention to that and find a solution. And here's my plea to Mr. President and Madam Vice President, as much as I despise your current politics, if you do have a position available in the White House as an advisor, I'd love to serve this country, serve my country in that capacity, because that is important. And we should all get a little bit more serious. So maybe, Madam Vice President, a little bit less laughing, Mr. President, a little bit less looking for words and having this smirk on this face, how powerful you are, and the things that you do or plan on doing. It's time to get serious and actually get to work and come up with some results and not just important talk in front of a camera. So my offer stands. I would love to serve my country in that capacity if we find a solution. Not just immigration. There's other subjects too that need attention. And I'm here. Maybe you consider my application. But long story short, I think this is a huge advantage for all the people. You get a payment plan. You don't need the cartels anymore. They go out of business almost overnight. And that's why I don't understand. No politician, high level, lower level, it doesn't matter, responded to that. They probably didn't even read it. Oh, 4 pages, too much work. No. If you really want to do something, if you really want to better this country, I think this is where we should start. We shut the border, no more drugs, human traffic, or less drugs. We're not going to be here in fantasy land, but we make it harder for them. We need to fund law enforcement. Again, we take the money from giving high-level politicians, secretaries, cabinet members a pay cut, 10%. We put a cap on foreign aid, 33 billion. I mean, come on. That's like really like, what is 33 billion? I mean, it's nothing, right? Yeah, maybe not for you. But if you see this country, how it's going right now, maybe we would need this money more locally. Just saying. So, this is my plea, this is my idea. If you have any questions, please reach out. But those are the main things, is we shut the border, we have ports of entry, we can create new ones if that's too much or not enough for the people that come here. We open another one. We get them checked out. We decide how many people we process a day. They don't just walk in. That's not how it works. We cannot sustain that over a long term. And then they get a payment plan. Good, you filled out the paperwork. Good. We want you here. But we want you legally. And not illegally bringing all this whatever comes in, whatever else. You've been used as drug mule. You put yourself in a situation where you're getting abused, where you owe them, where you're never really being free. But this is what we want. This is what this flag stands for. This is why I came over here. This is why other people want to come here. For what this flag stands for. One nation under God. Don't care what you look like. What religion you believe in. This is why people come here. This is why I came here. And if you don't understand, or if you just disregard the meaning of this flag, if you disregard the sacrifices that have been made for this flag, you haven't understood a damn thing. Not a damn thing. This flag stands for something. Act like it. Be American. This is the greatest country in the world. And there's people that just complain about it and never going to be satisfied and always need something extra. No. Act American. Be responsible. Take action. Be accountable. And we keep it the greatest country in the world. And I guess a lot of people that have been born here, that haven't seen anything else, that probably never left their state, I understand how their view is limited. But if you have seen other places, you appreciate that. You appreciate that. And I don't want to see it go to waste. Go down the drain. I don't want to see that. So, Mr. President, Madam Vice President, a little bit more sincerity, please. Let's get to work. Get the help. If you have, if there's something, if you need experts, if you need advice, reach out. Get the people, get subject matter experts, and get it. Not saying I'm one. I just have a different point of view. I have a different experience than most Americans probably, or people that have been born here. But let's get to work. Let's keep America great. We are the superpower here. Okay, I apologize. The video cut me off in 20 minutes, after 20 minutes. But going back, we are the superpower here. we want to help other countries, but we cannot do that when we cannot even take care of our own people, of our own country. And I think these are important subjects we need to talk about, we need to address, and it doesn't matter if it's left, right, whatever. We have to find the middle, the common middle ground. And I appeal on all politicians out there, stop pointing fingers, get to work. This is what we need. This is what we need. You people going to work for the American people. And this is how we keep this country safe and great. So, if you agree with me, good, share this video, I appreciate it. If you disagree with me, there's always a comment section and other social media. Get it out. But I think this is important, and this is what we need to focus on. Okay? So, I appreciate you guys being here, taking this time. It took longer than I expected. But again, it's important to me. And it should be important to other people too. So I appreciate you guys. Be safe, and God bless America.